How are you doing?
I'm at peace.
Didn't look that peaceful when you were throwing that guy out the window.
For centuries, I've watched you fight to protect humanity while forsaking your own kind.
She is the first.
The anticipation surrounding The Old Guard 2 has steadily grown as audiences prepare to return to the world of immortal warriors who have spent centuries fighting battles no one else could win. This new chapter continues the story of individuals who live hidden between history's cracks, navigating the modern world's complexities while carrying lifetimes of memories, regrets, and unfinished business. As the sequel expands on everything viewers enjoyed previously, from intense combat to emotional depth and the lore of immortality, it brings forward new conflicts, new alliances, and new threats that challenge the team in unprecedented ways. Fans who connected with the first film's grounded portrayal of ancient warriors adapting to the contemporary era will find this installment richer, more personal, and more ambitious in scope, offering answers to lingering questions while introducing mysteries that push the mythology further. The sequel opens by acknowledging the emotional and psychological consequences of being immortal, focusing on how the group copes with centuries of scars, some physical, many emotional, as they attempt to maintain their cover from a world growing more suspicious, more technologically advanced, and harder to hide from. The tension begins with the team fractured in small ways, recovering not only from their most recent battle, but from the betrayal and revelations that still haunt them. Each character struggles in their own way, and this narrative decision strengthens the sense of realism within a supernatural premise. The story leans deeper into identity, purpose, and legacy, asking what it truly means to protect humanity while never being able to fully be part of it. Much of the energy in the early part of the film revolves around the reappearance of a figure whose presence was teased previously, an individual long believed to be lost forever. Her reintroduction acts as a spark that reignites old wounds among the immortals, pulling them into a conflict that spans continents and eras. Her experiences after being separated from the group have shaped her into someone both familiar and transformed, someone who carries deep resentment and a complex understanding of the world they all once tried to protect. This emotional tension adds layers to the central conflict, reframing old alliances and forcing the team to examine past mistakes with brutal honesty. The action escalates when a new adversary emerges, someone who has pieced together fragments of the immortals' history and developed an obsessive fascination with them. Rather than pursuing immortality for power, this antagonist seeks to expose it, believing the world deserves the truth no matter the consequences. This ideological threat is more dangerous than a physical enemy because it forces the immortals to confront the possibility of losing anonymity, safety, and the quiet influence they've maintained throughout human history. Their attempts to prevent discovery push them into global races against time, with battles fought in densely populated urban centers and remote locations untouched by modern civilization. The team dynamic deepens as each member undergoes personal development that ties directly into the overarching themes. The leader faces the fear of losing control and the burden of command, especially as she recognizes the emotional weight of her past decisions. Two members who have been partners for centuries continue exploring the balance between love, loyalty, and the relentless march of time, revealing new layers of vulnerability in their relationship. The newest immortal in the group grows more confident and begins testing the boundaries of her powers, struggling to reconcile her rapidly changing identity with the life she once knew. These character evolutions create a sense of emotional continuity, ensuring that the narrative remains grounded even amid high-intensity action sequences. The film expands its world-building by introducing new historical flashbacks that reveal unknown chapters of the immortals' past. These scenes travel across different centuries, depicting battles and alliances that shaped the team long before the events of the first movie. Each flashback ties directly into the central storyline, revealing motivations, secrets, and hidden histories that influence the decisions they make in the present. The use of nonlinear storytelling enriches the pacing, drawing parallels between how the characters once fought for survival and how they now fight to protect their future from unraveling entirely. As the plot progresses, the immortals begin to understand that the threat they face is part of a much larger chain of events, engineered by someone whose knowledge of them surpasses any previous enemy's insight. This hidden orchestrator uses modern technology, historical documents, and strategic influence to manipulate global forces, forcing the immortals into a corner. The resulting confrontations test not only their physical resilience, but their ability to trust one another fully. Moments of tension give way to powerful scenes of unity as the team is reminded that their greatest strength has always been their bond, forged over centuries of shared hardship. The sequel also places greater emphasis on the consequences of immortality, not as a simple gift or curse, but as an evolving psychological burden. One character confronts the fear of losing their humanity after centuries of violence. Another struggles with survivor's guilt, intensified by an inability to age or die, and another wrestles with the desire to leave a lasting positive impact on the world beyond covert missions. These themes broaden the emotional foundation of the story, giving the audience insight into the internal conflicts that shape every decision the characters make. The action sequences in the film are described with a heightened level of choreography and continuity. The Immortals' centuries of combat experience translate into fighting styles that combine multiple martial arts, weapon techniques, and adaptive strategies. These scenes are portrayed with an emphasis on fluid movement, teamwork, and the precise coordination the team has developed over countless lifetimes. In contrast, the antagonists employ high-tech weaponry, surveillance tools, and modern tactical methods, emphasizing the collision between ancient skill and contemporary power. This juxtaposition enhances the stakes, showing that even immortals are vulnerable in a world where technology can track, analyze, and predict their actions. As the narrative approaches its midpoint, the team uncovers a hidden truth about their origins, an element long speculated about but never confirmed. This revelation forces them to reconsider everything they believed about their immortality, turning the mythos on its head. The discovery becomes a focal point that drives the remainder of the plot, tying together past flashbacks, present threats, and future implications. Their understanding of who they are evolves, creating new emotional and philosophical challenges that influence the direction of their mission. The tension reaches a crucial turning point when the antagonist's plan accelerates. Leveraging global communication networks, geopolitical tensions, and scientific research to expose the immortals to the world. The threat becomes existential, not because it can kill them, but because it can strip them of the anonymity that has allowed them to act freely for centuries. Their forced response culminates in a sequence that merges strategy, sacrifice, and coordinated action across multiple locations. The stakes evolve from personal survival to the preservation of historical balance they've secretly maintained for generations. The climax delivers an intense confrontation that is less about overpowering a villain and more about dismantling the web of influence orchestrated around them. The team uses both their ancient instincts and modern intelligence to outmaneuver their adversaries, leading to a turning point that redefines their future. Emotional resolutions unfold among the group, with long-held conflicts addressed, fractured relationships beginning to heal, and newly discovered truths changing the way they see themselves. Certain mysteries remain intentionally unresolved to allow future stories to grow from the foundations laid here. In the aftermath of the final battle, the immortals face the consequences of their actions, both victorious and costly. Their choices reshape the direction of their mission, their alliances, and their understanding of what they represent in a rapidly changing world. The film closes with a sense of renewed purpose, balanced by lingering uncertainty as new threats and discoveries loom on the horizon. The story leaves audiences with a clear pathway for future installments, hinting at deeper layers of mythology, greater challenges, and the evolving fate of warriors who cannot die yet continue to fight for a world that may never fully understand them. Through its expanded narrative, heightened emotional stakes, and greater exploration of the burdens of immortality, the sequel positions itself as a powerful continuation of a story that blends action with introspection. It honors the spirit of the original while confidently stepping into new territory that enriches the universe, broadens the world building, and lays the groundwork for what comes next. With its combination of internal conflict, external danger, and complex history, it delivers a compelling experience that keeps audiences engaged from start to finish, building anticipation for every new revelation and every future chapter.